confusing. It's just that you can do something there where Germany is stuck
all the
at
battleships
5-7.
at a 6-0? I thought there was a few at 6-0.
No, there's no battleships at 6-0. There's Ikoma at 5-7. But I'm not exactly too worried about that, even in Hawkins, if I'm being real with you. Mainly because I can just sail away from it.
Yeah, no one's
really
spawning here. I think I might just go respawn down at Steve.
There's a lot of enemy coming F-way.
Like, practically speaking, the UK is probably better than Germany. Japan, I mean, Sendai versus Hawkins, I don't know which one is worse, but I'd say Japan and the UK have a similar rank 4 experience, with maybe a little bit more favor for the UK because London exists, but not by much.
Patience expired.
Both I would recommend you just buy the premium and skip the pain. And Germany easily has the worst rank 4.
Germans have better DPM, but their survivability is
So unbelievably bad that you're not much better than a destroyer.
But John, aren't you on Belfast?
Yeah, I have Belfast.
Yeah.
I'll go spot the carrier because I can't trust our team to do it.
I have Belfast, Eugen, Helena, and Mikuma. Out of them, Helena is definitely the best investment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's also the most unnecessary investment because you really don't need it.
I know. It's
Dover
really,
Strait?
I have all this, like, just a bit for the record. I love the ship, but like,
You got a game on Dover?
if you're gonna be spending money on a ship for a premium to grind a tree, don't spend it on the US. The US can absolutely make do without it.
Well, yeah, because you just put a talisman on Cleveland and you're set, basically.
Or Atlanta, or you like, they have so many options, or even Northampton, or you name it.
I have 4 talismans on cruisers in the US tree.
Not Talisman Northampton, it's only good for being a free spawn.
Portland.
I liked her in 5.0. I really did. Like, I actually do like Northampton in random battles.
Northampton makes sense to put a talisman on.
Not moving?
No, I use her as a sort of like second spawn sniper, because first spawn you want to spawn your Moffat or whatever, and you want to get in there up close and personal. And then second spawn you spawn your Northampton, because getting back to the battlefield is a little bit of a hassle, but Northampton can kind of shoot things right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking is I don't want to fight Moffats with Northampton.
Yeah, I mean, later game.
Away.
Yeah, basically the problem with respawning in random battles is that maps are not really well catered to catch-up mechanics.
They're also minuscule.
Minuscule, but it is still a pain in the ass in terms of ticket bleed versus time to get to target. So if you want to maintain advantage, let's say you use Moffat to push in and cap, and you don't want to lose that, you just basically, your Northampton will provide you with a very immediate dose of firepower, even at range, which is nice.
EC is not and should not be what was I trying to say?
I don't know, but there's like
EC
3
is not and should
Northamptons
not be.
over there. Oh, and
Missile.
yes, Missile, there's a Davis right behind that, or Douglas, or whatever the hell the lumpy.
Yeah, it's like, Davis got a missile? Holy shit.
Davis with a missile?
It starts with a D and I don't care about its existence.
AI Yak 1, huh?
Oh yeah. What map? Your Malta, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. I was like, which map was AI? It's Malta.
What is it? Why does it exist?
Yeah,
don't
why
know.
Yaks? That makes no sense at all for a map which is supposed to be like UK versus Italy-Germany.
You know what's the funnier part? It's UK versus Japan.
What?
They have Akizukis and Nepals, I'm pretty sure, on that map.
Yeah.
And the jet dynamic is like meteors versus R2I2s.
Well, at least
And
that's a
yeah.
little less weird. But
The R2I2 is less weird.
it's less weird than Russian planes for Japan.
So, that last game on Port
I
Moresby,
guess.
we had to shoot down F3Ds. You know what they had to shoot down? G8Ns.
Yeah, Port Moresby is a very shit map in terms of air balance,
What?
but it's also the most air-heavy map.
Well, yeah, it's also 2/3 not water.
Yeah,
7.8 out of 10, not enough water.
indeed.
The scout keeps turning not the direction I'm telling him to fly. It's kind of annoying.
It'd be
Hey,
nice if you
Lamau.
could just order your float plane to go to a grid square.
Yep.
That would be cool. I would love to see them introduce more complex air command mechanics.
You know what that leads to, though.
Preparation for carriers, yes.
Honestly, I would be okay with carriers that are entirely indirect, as in you do not have even the capacity to use their perspective. I would be okay with that. You know, you just have a fucking parchment-ass map UI feature.
You get to do the arty call.
Yes. You do V commands and they are indirect, and that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be. It's like
that would be how to.
It would honestly be like if you were playing a multiplayer like TFA or something,
or battleships,
or whatever the one that's actually out.
Like honestly, I would be very okay with that. It's just a super indirect way, and you have to be hopeful that the AI knows what they're doing.
Wow, the rejoin and progress thing actually works.
War on the Sea?
I'm respawning.
Yeah, I would love to see them introduce War on the Sea style carrier mechanics to the game. Or not War on the Sea, Rule the Waves. War on the Sea is
there anything at the spawn by E right now?
No idea. F is very hot.
I guess for indirect control of the aircraft, it's still pretty direct. You get to see the aircraft in real time.
Where did I spawn? Oh.
Yeah.
I have to say, a Kronstadt here would be great right now.
Well, I have not been here this entire time, so
No, I gathered.
What are you even doing?
Oh my god. Sorry.
I know you're West Coast, but...
That was awful.
I'm not that south, you know what I mean? I'm in Vancouver.
You're South Canada. Oh.
Yeah, okay, but we're talking about, like, Orange County. That's a little more south than...
Actually thinking about it, what's the furthest south part of Canada? Toronto?
They have it up there. It was invisible.
We have a part that's south of the United States, so I mean...
Yeah, you got the Dong. In the Great Lakes.
What do they call them? No, I mean... Oh yeah, that's on the East Coast. Over on our side, there is literally a part of us that exists on a peninsula. Oh, it's the other way around. The Americans have a part of them.
A nipple.
Like a part of Washington State that's actually part of, like, it just stuck out of a bit of BC. And they have to go through BC and into Washington State again to go to...
why does that even exist? I
because
was looking at it on a map and I was like,
49th parallel, right? They just drew a fucking line and nobody gave a shit. Everybody, the big
they made
wigs...
an exception for the islands off Vancouver, didn't they?
Yeah,
and
yeah, they did. Yes,
there's a random peninsula.
They went south of Vancouver Island just for that, but they didn't do that.
Is that actually the island's called?
Yeah, but
Vancouver Island, yes.
Then there's also this bit of Minnesota.
The thing is, like, they completely forgot about that because Vancouver Island was mapped. They knew about that, but okay, so people in Ottawa and DC, like, they don't really give a shit about the West Coast, like that even back then, right?
Really.
So yeah, correct.
Well, why would they? There's nothing there worthwhile.
I mean, these days it's growing in viability because Pacific Rim.
I just don't like good seafood.
Yeah,
Don't bring kaiju into this.
But essentially, they just sort of forgot that was technically below the 49th parallel, so that became U.S. territory. And so there was a U.S. there were people in that settlement, and they weren't sure who they were until now they're American. And so now they're just stuck there, and they have to go through Canada and back.
Do they even want to be a part of the U.S. on that?
But,
I can't imagine
they have. I'm sure there are.
I don't know because I'm looking at the U.S. border here, and I don't see anything weird.
To my memory, it's a functional working relationship. So
what is this? Look up Simiano and then go west.
Is it like Point Roberts or something?
Yeah, that might be what it's called. I don't remember the name.
It's something like that.
That sounds great though. That's probably what it is.
Unless you're telling me
either case, they go up through like Twassen, I think, or whatever, and Delta and some shit, and then they come back down and they go down to Washington.
That's okay.
Because they don't have schools or hospitals or anything like that.
Yeah, no, the school is in Canada.
Yeah, no, there isn't.
No way.
Oh, Point Roberts, right? That.
Yes.
Why did they not just shift the border like 600 yards?
They forgot. They literally forgot, and then they forgot for long enough that it's now precedent.
Yeah.
So dumb.
It is literally.
They literally fucking forgot.
It is literally 4 square miles.
It's a symbol of Ottawa and Washington's negligence of the West Coast. It is hilarious.
It is literally 4 square miles.
It is the symbol of the capital's negligence of the West
I don't
Coast.
understand why they haven't just amended it. I mean, it's not like we don't like each other.
No, it's fine. Like again, like I said, I'm pretty sure that the Americans there. I think the worst of it, they just probably complain it's inconvenient, but I'm sure that they're fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
So
sure
what
they're not
happened,
really...
like, when Canada wasn't letting anyone in? Are they allowed to go in still when Canada wasn't letting anyone in?
They have special exceptions for everything, so probably we're just considered de
It's-
facto Canadians, essentially.
I'd have
also-
to imagine, because if they can't cross the border, they are so unbelievably boned.
Yeah.
It's worth noting this isn't the only place on the US-Canada border like that. If you look
I
at the
know
picture
for
immediately
BC,
above
we
that,
kind of effectively treat them
The
like...
Minnesota one? Or
the Minnesota.
We effectively treat them like British Columbians for a lot of things, so, I mean, like... Except for the fact they can't vote.
Oh, so look,
They are
the opposite
de facto
of the Irish
Canadians.
then.
They can't vote for US stuff?
No, for Canadians. I'm saying that they're de facto Canadian citizens in the sense that they get to enjoy a lot of our amenities without being Canadian citizens. Which is, you know, I think that that's a fine compromise for having to be fucking stuck next to Canada permanently like that.
They don't pay Canadian taxes.
But they pay American ones.
I mean, I live in the UK and I have to pay American taxes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the IRS is totally a legitimate organization that should exist, guys.
Why do you have
Ironically,
to pay American taxes?
Because
I
I'm an
will say
American
that out of
citizen.
all the US institutions, the IRS is actually one of the more legitimate ones in terms of their
I think you have
validity and
to pay
relevance.
US taxes in the UK.
Yeah, because America taxes overseas assets.
Uncle Sam doesn't care where you live, or anything.
Wow.
I mean,
Like in a really
yeah,
sad
You are
way,
property
because
of
it's
the
hilarious.
IRS.
to be fair, that actually is a pretty smart piece of legislature because otherwise you'll just create tax fraud and tax havens.
Yeah,
and that's the
it
problem
just
we have
means
here.
that if I don't live in the United States, why am I paying tax to the United States for business
Right.
that is not conducted in the United States on property that is
Because
not
you
owned
are
by the
American.
United States?
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes.
Because you're an American is basically why. And this is more of a like the problem is I guess your collateral damage to a policy that exists because of an unscrupulous business by people who live in the US.
I
By people who
personally, it's just
register in
industry
Cayman
people.
Islands or the British Virgin
Yes.
Islands or shit like that, right? Because
I'm just trying to kill
we
you
have an
and
industry,
some
a global
massive
industry,
country like
that is
using-
entirely designed for tax evasion. And it's not for the average person, it's for the stupidly wealthy who just want to hide and hoard money like fucking Fenrir or Faust.
It is worth noting, I have to pay income tax in the US despite not living there if I earn
Yes,
over
exactly.
$106,000.
Yep.
Yes.
Like I said, this is, you know, the Panama Papers. This is exactly why that legislature exists. And it's why in Canada people have been raising eyebrows as why we don't have that. Because we don't have that.
Just count yourselves lucky.
I mean, in a sense, I think that that's a problem because it's led to tax fraud and organized crime here. The fact that you can hide unscrupulous funds here because you can just register them offshore is why it's so hard for us to bust things like Hell's Angels. And we have a big Hell's Angel problem locally. Like, it is... If you have shady money and you want it hidden, Canada is actually better than the US for this by a wide margin. And again, that's why we actually have a bigger crime problem than people think. It's,
Canada? Crime? No way.
I know, right? We're so peaceful, with multiple gangs living in Delta. Like, pretty much flagrantly, we have a massive fentanyl problem. Wonder where that came from.
Probably the
Couldn't
Yankees.
be organized criminal gangs that literally just exist freely in the streets these days.
Nice. Thanks, Shadow.
Zen. Bridgeport
Yep,
Casino,
now I have to
totally
deal
not a
with
front
this
for
massive
drug
asshole.
trafficking and money laundering.
Oh, hello, Emden. Where'd you come from?
But yeah, it's very easy to hide your money because the CRA doesn't really have any teeth. The thing is, it doesn't stop taxes from being high because the average Canadian citizen foots the bill, and most Canadians, you know, make their money in Canada. So the raw tax rate is not small, but it doesn't really matter for people who just, you know, they just hide their
Basically,
money.
if you're wealthy, things are better in Canada than they are in the US for you.
Yes, and more importantly, if you're wealthy and you have suspiciously unscrupulous money, you can hide it easier.
Meanwhile, over
it's-
here, the government tried to tax me at like 40% on earnings of £250.
Amazing. But yeah,
And then
that's,
went, oh wait, we're
that's
not
why
allowed
I
to do
think,
that.
like, if I'm to be real honest, the IRS taxing overseas makes sense. It's more just a case of ameliorating how they do that could use to work. But like
And
the
stupid
entire
paper.
design of taxing overseas income makes a lot of sense. It is a way of dealing with very shady cash
It does just mean that
Sorry,
I,
Mac,
who
sorry,
don't
Mac,
earn
sorry,
anything
Mac.
at all, basically have to file paperwork just to state that
Yeah.
I don't have any money to the IRS.
Turn
No
and
worries.
turn.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of work to. I think this is where legislature could use some fine tuning, essentially. But the principle of overseas taxation is a very sound one. It's just the case of execution, essentially. Effectively, like, you need to make the tax policy always has to be super precise, and that leads to a very bloated legislature. But it's sort of necessary for taxes because you'll have
People like to find loopholes.
not only that, there's also lots of different ways people make money, and in this increasingly global world, there's a lot of different ways that people live. And so you'll have a lot of people who are your overseas citizens, and they'll be having their own circumstances. You have to account for that. You can't be unjust to them. But at the same time, you can't provide them with... you can't also provide them with an avenue to then just say, well, I live in Panama, so obviously, and I make no income. Please give me benefits, which is a thing we have here. But you can have people who have multi-million-dollar houses who declare zero income right now.
Why?
Because they have all their funds and income overseas, and they don't. That's not taxed. So they technically, according to the Canadian Revenue Agency, they make no money.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, right?
Rules lawyering is fun.
Oh my god, it's very legal TM tax evasion.
I despise people who abuse
Well, tax
things like
evasion.
this because they're
Tax
the reason that
avoidance.
we have so many stupid things.
Yep. And by the way, this is also Vancouver also has some of the most unlivable housing prices in the world, and it's not being encouraged by the fact that we can basically let people declare zero income and then freely speculate on the market, which itself acts as a great form of money laundering because you can essentially make it tax-free. Essentially, there's ways of kind of skirting around the property taxes during sales with gifts and shit.
Meanwhile, over here we have the government converting protected green spaces into quote-unquote affordable housing, where it's like 400 grand a house.
Honestly, I would kill for 400 grand a house here.
Yeah, but you know how much a typical house over here goes for in a place that isn't the middle of freaking London?
Where? How
About
much?
150k.
Okay, so that is definitely an obscene markup. Here,
Yeah.
400k would be...
But here's the thing, is that this is a government
maybe a
initiative
third, maybe
to
a quarter
solve...
of the market rate for even someone outside of the city.
I got Dover straight again.
This is a government initiative going, oh, housing is too expensive, so we're going to build 1,001,000 houses everywhere. And then nobody can afford to buy them because they're ridiculously expensive. And they also require, if you're trying to do a job in London or something, they require you to take a 3-hour commute.
Incredible.
I guess in a sense, it's just a different set of problems in the UK
So
than
they're
in Canada.
But yes, we have no space and
To this
too many
point
people.
where they're actually needed.
We have too much space and no people.
I'd rather have that problem.
We are...
That problem is great. It's a great
That
problem to
problem-
have.
I'm not even joking. We have... So, our neighbor to the south is the United States, and we happen to have a very similar type of economy to them in terms of we are very service-driven, and it focuses on skilled labor. What that means is that we're not... We're less America's trade partner and more their competitor in the market. And unfortunately, Canada's population is 35 million, so we're not very good competitors.
That's half the population of the UK, by the way.
Yes.
Also, I
we are
just
also the
deleted
second
it
largest
out.
country by landmass, so you can kind of realize that we are very underpopulated.
Yeah.
The problem is that most of that landmass is also not very popular landmass to inhabit because it's fucking the boonies. Yeah.
Which is
It's
political.
cold. We are proud of it in the sense that we're proud of natural splendor, but we're also like, Zam, our economy is
That's what I'm
not
saying.
gonna
It's a
grow.
great problem to have. I mean,
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, but what that means is that the Canadian policy right now is to encourage immigration very aggressively because we want to reach 100 million people at
And yet
least.
they don't like having people with disabilities emigrating.
It's definitely like a very. There's definitely certain legislative decisions that are questionable with the immigration policy. I think the main one is the ability to buy your citizenship, and the other one is, of course, the fact that you don't tax overseas. Those two things, I'm just like you could definitely use work on Canada. But beyond that, I do like the idea.
Encouraging immigration.
basically.
That would encourage it, yeah.
It did work. It just, unfortunately, just encouraged
On the other
spamming
hand,
housing.
Encourage immigration into Cyprus.
The problem
I
is
know how
that
to solve
basically
the,
to buy into that, you are asking for the wealthiest people to join the country, which
how
sounds
to solve
great.
the
but
Canadian
problem is-
population issue.
They're not actually paying the taxes.
Have the
Yep.
Canadian government sponsor the transfer
You're getting
of
the wealthy
wealthy
people, but you're
Americans.
not actually getting any money from them.
No, and they also don't contribute to your economy because they're not actually, they don't set up shop here. They just make,
Living here.
the residency here, which they use our services without
It should be
actually
great if they paid their taxes.
Up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, solution to the Canadian
French
population
tax.
problem.
Which would be,
Get the Canadian government to sponsor the immigration of all the Americans to say they'll leave the country anytime anything political happens.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is, again, they don't actually emigrate regardless.
Oh, I know.
The main,
That was the joke.
yeah,
The dumbest
the,
thing that people make, it's hilarious.
the other thing is just that in general,
I'm
like,
reminded now of going on poll after the 2020 election
That was
and just watching
incredible.
all the people cry about, I'm gonna leave the US, it's going to go to shit.
They said that in 2016 as well.
yeah, it's every 4 years, every 48 years.
It was
you get-
it was very funny because it was the whole like, we voted for Trump.
I realized Respawn wasn't an MDID. I killed this MDID and he still lost. What
Should
were
note, I
you doing?
can barely hear anybody at the moment from the cacophony of shells impacting into me, since apparently the entire
I can barely
enemy
hear
team has
anybody
decided
because
to hit me.
Oh yeah, there's another side effect of the fact that we invite stupidly rich people who don't contribute to our economy is it increases xenophobia. Just for the record, by raw volume of population influx, most of the foreign immigration is lower middle class, like anywhere in the world. But because of the nature of those two particular policies, it led to surprisingly hostile xenophobia in Vancouver, for example. Mainly anti-Asian sentiment. Again, the majority of people coming from Asia are regular old people who do contribute to the economy.
They have a
But
Wyoming.
you just need a few rich people, and suddenly the population becomes hostile.
Engage you.
You guys actually unironically get like the whole Asian hate thing there because like, we get the campaigns for Stop Asian Hate. It's like literally no one I have ever met is unironically racist against a single Asian other than maybe the Chinese.
We've had
typically
a
reason for
few
not liking the Chinese government.
pretty viral incidents, including Karen in a real Canadian Superstore parking lot, basically just shouting expletives and harassing a lady.
You also have the triads over there.
We do, and the UN Gang and the Hell's Angels. Like I mentioned this before, but yeah, we have a great host of organized crime here. Real hotbed.
Shadow. I
You
will
have an
say,
artist friend.
so I have a bunch of friends who are Asian, some of which live in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Apparently it's really bad in the Bay Area, but not from the right, from the left.
It's unsurprising.
Oh, there's actually a growing problematic. I know that this is a pretty West Coast thing in a lot of ways, but I know that this is a problem in like San Francisco and Vancouver, Burnaby. Something called NIMBY. This is left-wing NIMBY, not right-wing NIMBY. So NIMBY stands for
camps.
Not in my backyard. And the idea behind this is to basically discourage building of new housing and property. Not public housing, mind you, just housing in general. And it's a very strange sort of doublespeak. And it's basically just xenophobia wrapped in a different tone. But because it's left-wing NIMBY, they have to pretend like this is somehow for the sake of like some disparaged group, namely either for the immigrant. Like, they're like, this is not a racial thing, clearly. But I mean, let's be real. It's
Yeah.
But if you dare call them a racist, they'll turn that shit right back around at you.
But it's usually you hear NIMBY from the right. That's usually where it comes from. So it's really strange to see NIMBY coming from the left. But it is a thing apparently in these relatively wealthy West Coast cities.
It's not just a small thing either. It is a huge.
It's the most nonsensical thing because it has no economic justification either. It is actually just the stupidest policy I've heard of in a while. And we can do the numbers on it. It doesn't make any sense. Encouraging people to buy housing, it puts downward pressure on the market, which makes housing more affordable. They claim the opposite. It makes 0 sense. I don't think they understand that if you just increase the supply, then the demand, relatively speaking, decreases in terms
Yeah,
of,
but
you
then
know.
there's also a
They
million
understand
houses
that,
built
they just
to
don't
build
care.
house.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but if this is in the free market, that's fine, right? That's the entire idea. As long as you don't add red tape to this shit, as long as you make sure that the housing is there and you have people who want to make money for it, they will absolutely bargain for that.
Everywhere.
Yeah, just make sure that that shit goes for regular market rate, and the market rate will therefore drop the price.
Yeah, ignoring the part of they just build houses and don't build anything else.
Well, the primary issue with at least with here when we do public housing, it's not the actual housing, like it's not the availability of housing, it's the fact that
it's privately owned housing, it's just the government is
Oh.
subsidizing it.
I mean, generally speaking, the issue is, at least here, is just that they put so much red tape that it doesn't become livable housing at all.
Yeah. Whereas here, they just treble the population of a sleepy little village in 10 years and fail to add any extra amenities.
This isn't even a sleepy village, this is a city problem, and there's definitely amenities, there's no shortage of that in the city.
Problem because they aren't doing it in the cities, they're foisting all the population into the rural areas and making them commute. Rather than doing
which is like the opposite problem that we have in a sense. We have the housing is cheap and affordable.
Sorry.
Oh, you sound very robotic, Noah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm in a bad area. I just got to Washington.
Wait. No. I'm not in your game. Fuck.
I thought Opti just called someone Helen. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna.
There is a Helena in Washington State, isn't there?
There is.
Helena is Idaho.
Hold on.
Oh, Idaho.
Yeah, there's Helena, Idaho.
I thought that there was some sort of Helen type city.
You have Mount St. Helens.
Oh, right,
Mount
yes,
St.
the one
Helens.
the exploding one, yes.
Well, what's left of it?
A little bit north of Portland. Yep. A little bit north of Portland, Oregon.
Yes, indeed.
On the 5.
I recently looked at a map and I was surprised at how far south Mount Baker is, because you can see it from here.
But yeah, I just got to Washington State. Sorry about the signal issue. Yes, I'm in your hood. I'm going towards Puyallup. I can't say it. Puyallup.
Puyallup. It's nothing like how it's spelled. Don't look at the writing.
This is like Osoyos in the interior.
You're doing yourself a disservice if you look at the spelling. Like, if you learn how to pronounce it before you ever see the spelling, it's so much easier.
Yeah, basically anything Coast Salish that's been converted to English.
There's the fun one.
I mean, most of it's not that bad. Puyallup is the worst by far.
Yeah, there is a few, like, I remember a few in interior BC that were actually just a pain in the ass to read. That being said, though, we have a bunch of them in the Sea Sky Highway that are written in numbers, and that's a...
Kelowna is pretty bad.
So
Kelowna's fine. Kelowna.
But...
Yeah, but you're used to it.
Because every time I see the name,
how does it read Kelowna?
y'all up.
Yeah, basically,
That's
move the Y before the U, and that's pretty much how you pronounce it.
Okay, because I've never actually heard it pronounced, how is the town of Groin pronounced?
Groin? Where's Groin?
Texas, it's green in German, and I don't know how they pronounce it because I've never heard.
Hey, there's a coma in this game.
Oh wait, it's not German. German
It's not going to be pronounced the way the Germans pronounce it, hence why I'm asking Noah.
Lawson versus a coma, battle of the retards.
Gorn? I guess. How's it spelled again?
Gruene.
It's not even that, it's just two awful ships.
I don't even know how to say that.
Honestly, people here
I don't even know how to say that.
Green.
Damn.
I guarantee you people here would just say green.
It's Nuna Braunfels.
Yeah. Boring.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was going to show you. This is the only really confusing part of, like, I guess this part is here. Try reading the Musqueam for this. It's not even embedding. Cool. Just click that link then.
Oh, this is hilarious. I did not realize how bad Ecoma's armor is.
It's bad, yeah.
I am spreading it with a Cleveland. I just detonated it.
What's even funnier is that it's covered in holes.
How they pronounce it?
It has a 7 in it.
Yes, Squamish.
You can literally just look it up on Google, and the Wikipedia page has the
pronunciation.
They just call it green.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Green.
I mean, if it's actually,
you know, I am looking on the wiki page, and yeah, okay.
That is pretty funny.
I mean, it makes sense.
There's a bunch of towns around that are not pronounced properly. Most of them Spanish names.
Well, that's a different issue, okay?
No,
that might be intentional.
Like in Colorado,
That's a joke. That is a joke.
It's
I know.
not limon, it's lemon.
Yeah. So there's another question for you. Which one of the two states is pronounced correctly? Arkansas or Kansas?
Kansas.
Yes.
America is blame.
is there an option for neither?
Actually, Arkansas.
I vote for neither.
Arkansas is
So
the
clearly
correct one.
it's Kansas.
Yeah, it should be Kansas because
Oh, actually.
they're derived from. I'm assuming that's pronounced Osage. It's a Sioux family language, right? Referring to the Quapaw.
Oh, so it should be the other way around.
Yeah, it should be pronounced Kansas. It's because the spelling is derived from French.
Right.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, leave it to the... You know the French term for Native American people, yes?
No.
I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce it.
Autochtone.
Say pork.
No, autochtone.
Toton?
Autochtone.
AUTOCHTON.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
the word.
My elementary school was French immersion, so that was the term that I learned before Native American.
Oh, it was a fucking Nepal. Damn it.
I was going to make the comment while we're talking about the affordable housing thing. I used to live in public housing when I was younger. And there's so much red tape and so much extra bullshit. And really don't take care of the apartment very well. Like, yes, they regulate the rent. Yes, they help with the system. At the same time, you can only make so much.
Or they kick you out.
Or they kick you out. And you're stuck.
You're just gonna raise and have them kick you out.
Yeah, like legit, you can't get a raise. They make it where you can't get a raise.
Bruh.
Mag is about
So
to
they're
get bombed.
discouraging you from getting a better job.
Exactly, they're discouraging you from getting a better job. They're discouraging you from pulling yourself up
Oh, see
and
income
out
tax.
of a bad situation.
Hey, welcome
And-
to...
Is
Yeah,
there no grace
to
a
period?
lot of things working.
No grace period at all. It's straight up. Bam,
Same here.
Out.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people work here. I want to keep
That's
the
pretty
poor
fucked,
people
yeah.
poor.
And then if you end up
Fucking
getting
hate it.
dropped back out of the situation, it takes them 2 months to fix the problem.
Yeah, because if you get
Well,
thrown into
way more than that.
tailspin, the tailspin is really problematic because most people, when they are most people in any regular living situation, are living on with dependencies that their situation is stable, and that means that if that gets pulled from beneath them,
Everything falls apart
No
because you
yeah,
just pulled the keystone out of the archway.
you're on a schedule, right? You have to commute to work, and to do that, you need a stable location to live, and that means, and to eat, you need to have cooking facilities. If that sort of stuff falls apart, and the easy way for that to fall apart is not having a house,
Because in order to gain employment, you need to have a
throws-
permanent address.
even if they accept that you're
Vice versa.
homeless, the problem is just simply even something like a regular commute becomes a logistical challenge because where you go to bed at night may change. Where you get your food may change. You become very dependent upon relatively on-demand, as-needed basis systems that are not designed for the homeless. They're designed for people who have a house.
Yep.
And facilities showering and laundry and stuff like that, they are time gated, usually on people's work schedules. So, for example, laundromats would be 9 to 5, usually. So you're fucked if you have to go to work and go back and there's no laundromat. And if you don't have a place to live and you're exposed to the elements, then your clothes will get dirtier faster. That's the other thing. You can't rely on saving money the same way somebody with a house could, because you can't store perishable items. You can't store, which usually tend to be cheaper in their processed forms. Yeah, life becomes so much harder that the tailspin isn't just simply that you don't have a house and you just your resources don't get allocated to finding a place to stay.
They get allocated to surviving.
Yeah, and then you have to find a way to then restabilize to your living situation, which is inherently less stable, which means sometimes it's just simply impossible.
And
And then maybe you have the
because
chance
you're having
to-
to expend more resources than you're able to bring in.
Yep.
Like,
Not even counting the fact that you may, just lose your job and other shit that crap.
like, even my mother my mother pretty much told us if we had any loose change or shit, hide that, because they would count it as unmarked income and they would punish us.
That's Jesus. That's fucked. That's absolutely fucked.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, it is
They're trying to keep you stuck in the system. What's the incentive for that?
It is. No,
Keeping
that's
you
the
stuck
point.
in the system keeps you poor
because
and
it's a
downtrodden.
revenue loop. Well, not only that, the reason why it's such a trap is because it's not necessarily because the people at the top want it to be that way. Is because when you think about it from the perspective of any individual within that system, those people make money, and their income loop and their budget are relevant to how big a problem is. Ironically.
Yep, and that's why the government never solves problems,
it's
because
like
they
a
make money
conflict of
off it.
interest within itself.
Yes,
it's
it's a
inherently
foundational
conflict of
conflict.
interest.
Yeah, so you need to have a body that will be designed, like, you need a system that's designed to make itself obsolete. That's the entire challenge. It's the same challenge you see in, for example, law enforcement. When you have corrupt law enforcement, you have a situation where you have not designed an environment where the goal of the system is to make itself obsolete, right? And so you have, for example, a police force that will compete for budget in a way that really it doesn't need. It will blow up the budget by spending a lot of it and saying that, oh, we ran out of it, we need some more. But you look at the actual expense report and you realize that they're spending it on fucking
6 weeks before the end of the tax year, it's just like everybody say we need $7,000 in paper. You know?
Yep, it's a real legislative challenge to find a way to design a system for institutions that are designed. Like, it's bad enough in general for budgets, but it's worse in cases where the institution in question is supposed to try to make itself useless. Like, law enforcement should try to become less relevant. That's the entire goal, right? So you have to encourage it to continually become obsolete. And that's very difficult in a way because police forces are also, unfortunately, not very well governed in terms of their accountability. They are... Yeah, we have investigated ourselves and we found ourselves free of all charges.
Yep.
See the CIA.
Investigate the investigators.
The lack of an accountability office that is entirely designed purely to be an accountability office.
But that's
for
the
other
issue, is that
institutions.
then the accountability office needs to be held accountable by somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
checks
it
and
is a
balances
real
only
life.
thing that
why
checks and
small
balances are paid
government doesn't
attention
work.
to. Small government doesn't work because somebody inevitably makes it big government, and then big government doesn't work because people inevitably make it bigger.
Small government also just has its own problems in terms of regulation. That as a
no,
core,
the issue is
we
just
had this
you cannot
we've had this
regulate small
discussion
government effectively.
as a species, I guess, really forever. Like the Tang Dynasty had this issue. It's been discussed in Chinese imperial exams for millennia. This foundational problem of centralization versus dispersion of your government and its policy, and it comes with advantages and disadvantages. We are definitely capable of developing new legislative technology, I guess you could call it, techniques, that overcome certain forms of corruption and inefficiency. We've seen this because we've seen, like, there are things called legislative innovations, like Magna Carta, like the Juris Justinianus, etc. We know that we can actually make legislative innovation. That is a thing, right? So it's not just a cycle of ebb and flow. This will always be a thing. It's just the case that we have yet to discover how to incentivize an institution to self-obsolete.
You can't do that because human nature says no.
Well, I think that's a bit of a cop-out in a way. It's, in a sense, you could say that, but we've overcome human nature with legislature in the past. Quite impressively, in fact. Like, for example, human beings have a tendency to store their wealth in property and other very, very stable things. You know what we did, or you know what the Bank of England did? They invented the mortgage. That took money out of the housing market in and back into the system. Because the problem with money that goes into housing is that it stays there and doesn't move. And for an economy, that's not healthy because it stagnates. So the mortgage takes that money back and recycles it into a system. And that's why the mortgage was developed. It's a system to take money from a stable housing situation, destabilizing the housing situation, but making the money go back into the economy. So, I mean, that's a form of innovation that breaks human nature and human, I guess, frugality, for example. It also does have its own benefits, like it also widened the income bracket that could purchase a house in the first place because of the way of mortgage payment requirements. But overall, we do know how to make... We do know that we are capable of overcoming human nature, usually by just sort of diverting. It's like trying to change the flow of a river. It's much more expensive to dam it than it is to divert it, you know? But we can also dam it. We do know how to do that. We just need a little bit more work in there. overall, though, as far as making an institution self-obsolete, while also making sure that it's always there. The one thing about police force is you want it to feel like it always tries to make itself less useful, relevant to our budget, but while also maintaining itself as always at the ready to do that at any point in time.
Which is an oxymoron.
It is an oxymoron, yeah. Which is why it's a big challenge, essentially. We need to make sure that...
It's like, what, standing army?
Yeah, I mean, really it is. The nature of the fight is different, granted, but it is still sort of a rapid deployment force. You know, a police force, unlike an army, has to also contend with relatively ethically sensitive situations. You can't just come in there gun blazing. But at the same time, you need to be rapid and responsive, and like the entire idea of a police force is to enforce the law.
The army isn't allowed to go in guns blazing anymore.
I mean, that's arguably a good thing too.
How long now?
Well, pretty much since the last Total War is the simple way to describe it.
Well, I wouldn't say that Vietnam had the...
That wasn't a Total War, that was a...
No, the rules of engagement.
So what are you calling last Total War? Like,
yeah, rules of engagement, the point is that Total War...
Last Total War is Civil War.
Last Total War was World War II, my dude.
Yeah.
It was not a total war for the United States.
It was for everybody else.
No, it was. It absolutely was a total war for the United States.
Considering the US almost ran out of steel.
Well, that and the rules of engagement were dictated very heavily how the US fought the war. What do you mean it's not a total war? The US absolutely dictated.
You're talking from the rules of engagement. I was talking from an economic standpoint, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, even from an economic standpoint, the US went to a war economy. Like,
since then,
the entire US population was gearing...
engagement.
Yeah, the United States as a nation economically shifted into a war economy, meaning that the entire nation became serving to the war. And war economy is absolutely a symptom. Yeah, war economy is absolutely a symptom of.
It was not a complete war economy.
Maybe not complete, but that was still a total war. It doesn't just because the total war is less taxing on one side than the other doesn't mean that the total war didn't exist for one state. It was a total war for all parties. Absolutely. Like, the United States engaged in total war. That was the last total war for the United States, and they since haven't had one. Like, Korea wasn't a war economy. Vietnam wasn't a war economy.
Throw surplus at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
they haven't had a total war since then, but they have had very lax rules of engagement since then.
Yes, but that's more of a sort of legislature concern and a management concern.
And
it's essentially.
War guys.
Yeah, the responsibilities of those in power are definitely things to call to question and to look at and investigate in a sense.
It's just totally bypassing the war powers problem.
Yeah, but with regards to how the United States was actually tasked with dealing with the conflict, it still doesn't change the fact that the only total war we've seen for the last 100 years has been World War II. For other countries, like for Vietnam, that was a total war for Vietnam.
Was a total war for Vietnam, yeah.
Yeah. For Afghanistan, same deal.
About that.
Yeah. Like, for Afghanistan for the Soviets was, in a sense, a limited, that was I would call that a high-intensity, low-intensity war for them.
It was supposed to be a low-intensity war.
I think really the only notable...
Well, they didn't enter war economy or anything.
In Vietnam would have been
but their economy suffered, so... it was definitely a not total war for the Soviets. It was just stupidly expensive.
Soviets clearly didn't bother reading history books because if nobody paid attention, we tried conquering Afghanistan in the 19th century 4 times.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just here. The thing is, Afghanistan has been conquered.
I know, but it doesn't work very well.
Well, it worked very well for a bunch of empires. It's just that. The term death of empires is sort of a selective one in terminology because we have definitely conquered Afghanistan as a species several times.
Yeah.
Pretty successfully, pretty stably.
The Afghans tend to not be very receptive to being conquered.
It's more that the avenues of warfare...
conversation than that.
Yeah, the avenues of warfare have become more accommodating for the defender in a mountainous terrain over time. Because the thing is, right, it's a lot easier to occupy terrain when the worst you have to really worry about are, even mountainous terrain.
With martinis.
Well, with bow and arrows. Now you have people with really long guns that can set up anywhere, and the guns are super easy to train with.
Yeah, but
in terms of population efficiency, the amount of ability for Pashtun tribesmen to mobilize and to train and to replenish their numbers has increased over time.
But even then, the British went in with martinis and then repeating rifles against the Afghans who were still using Jezail muskets for the most part and managed to not entirely win.
I mean, Jezails have been even used during the modern conflicts. The thing is that
gun is gun.
Jezail isn't really like Jezail sort of does the job enough. It's not great, don't get me wrong, especially against the modern. But the point was that a bow and arrow takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of resources and it takes a lot of time. The percentage. Yeah, the percentage of the population that could be mustered and delivering a meaningful amount of force.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
That was my
essentially.
I relish the idea.
God. But yeah, the amount of essentially way back, like let's say the Mughal Empire, right?
Apparently.
Technically, there were muskets back then.
This conversation a bit of a pickle.
Yeah. God, I hate y'all. But essentially,
you started my threats. They literally don't
didn't
even
even start this. Somebody else started this. I don't know. I blame one of you.
Don't get bratty about the patty.
Yeah. Anyways, the core thing is just that back when guns were either more expensive, less accessible, or non-existent, it was easier to pacify a peoples.
Well, you have to do is spread the buns.
Yeah. Essentially, right now, like, the reason why child soldiers are currently so popular as horrible as it's also because the gun is stupidly easy to train with. It's really accessible.
I zoned out for like 2 seconds and we're talking about the accessibility of child soldiers. What the fuck?
The point is that Afghanistan has become increasingly more difficult Afghanistan has become increasingly more difficult to occupy and conquer as the accessibility of firepower has increased and
what you're saying
easier to train with.
Afghanistan is a working example of the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, it's the working example of ghetto warfare. Let me be real with you.
Oh lord.
Yeah.
Khyber Pass gunsmithing is the most ghetto gunsmithing on the planet.
But it's amazing.
And it has fought back 2 superpowers. So
2?
We're enemies.
3?
Soviets as well. Yeah. Oh, Khyber Pass gunsmithing, I don't know if that was around.
The Khyber Pass were doing gunsmithing in the 1870s, I can tell you that, because they made martinis.
Then they fought off 3 superpowers.
Hey, Opti. On pudding, should I be running HE or SAP?
In pudding, I would run a lot more SAP.
Yeah.
But
the answer is always SAP.
Generally speaking.
There's a lot of reasons to use HE as well. Like in Marlboro, I'd say HE. Pretty comfortably HE.
Yeah. Maple syrup, that's just sap.
Well, yeah, but at that point you're talking battleships that have so much pen on the HE, you don't need sap.
Well, even in like, I would still run HE on, like, I would actually run it on Baltimore, just for a few targets. Oh, that was a really good
spawn in Baltimore even
have HE?
Yes, it does. It has high capacity.
I didn't even know it had HE.
It's a very substantial HE, in fact.
DD spawn inside the torpedo net, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stay right
you spawn on the point, you spawn on the torpedo.
They can be out of it in a few seconds.
I think the only entity that doesn't is PT boats.
Yeah.
PT boats still spawn in the cap.
Also, Vish, feel free to start dealing with
I thought that your Douglas didn't. That's what I was
No, it spawns in the cap, but it spawns so close to the edge and at full speed.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I pretty much have to spam S as soon as I spawn, and I still might sail out. It's also RNG, because, you could spawn on the very edge, you could spawn a little back from the edge.
Right. So technically they all spawn inside, it's just PT boats have a risk
Pretty much, the F-cap on Malta is the only one where it's consistently problematic.
Fair.
God, why does pudding heal so much whenever you turn?
Yeah. Because ships are planes, is the easiest way to describe it. You're engaging with a banking angle.
Damn you. Engage the coastal artillery, he says. Proceeds to blast everything I'm trying to shoot at instead.
I was actually trying to only shoot it with the secondaries while my guns reloaded, and then they reloaded.
And then it exploded. Oh well, he's respawned again.
I clicked too many times. Yeah, I'll ignore him.
Don't worry.
Here come torps. These better hit the net, otherwise I will be very annoyed.
It's not the boat. I'm just blacklisting you now and listening to Pirates of the Caribbean OST.
Yeah.
What?
Somebody is being grumpy, and somebody is being grumpy back while trying to not be grumpy, he says, basically.
I'm clearly not mad.
No.
There is no torpedo net here.
This one. Yeah.
How many times has he said torpedo won't fire?
Like 8 at least.
Enough.
No one cares, my guy. We get it. You got problems.
Performance issues.
He's seen footage.
Skill.
Performance issues.
Shut up.
Okay. Well, that's all the. Oh, this guy's like underwater.
Okay.
I'm not even.
Opti. What
I
kind
literally
of,
just quoted Death Grips, my dude.
I know. I was gonna ask, what kind of the remixes were you even listening to?
Death Grips mixed in with everything. I had Death Grips mixed in with Evangelion, for example. I'll
Kind of rancid.
To be fair, the
honest.
soundtrack is great for playing British cruisers.
I don't think this is gonna quite be in the same fold.
Alright, I need to mute that, because I don't want to get content matched. But...
They finally
Sounds like Joe Biden.
This is Charles Manson, my dude.
No, it's Joe Biden.
Same difference.
God.
No one's at FE, right?
No idea.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a bit of a taste of, like...
What is this song?
This one would be, I believe, Beware.
I think someone might be at the B point or the E point, because...
if you were to describe Death Grips is the poppy version of a noise. Well, it's noise, but it's poppy noise. So if you know what noise is as a genre... Yeah. I mean, noise as a genre is literally just what it says on the tin. It's noise. It's just... There's not much cadence, not much rhythm.
The actual name of the genre is noise.
Yes, noise, yes.
It's called noise. That's it.
Incredible.
That's what it is.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah. And so the reason why we would consider Death Grips to be poppy noise is because it actually...
This is one of my favorite songs, and then you've done this to it.
Yeah.
Which track is it?
Beware. I like Ice King's
really Beware. Their first album's fantastic. Or that it's kind of more of a mixtape, but it's fantastic.
It's really hard to hear over 5-inch 38s, but you know,
yeah,
it's
tell me
there.
about it.
Especially with my Hispanos, not Hispanos, Ehrlichins opening up now.
Like both these songs in isolation, great. This one, it's an experience, I guess.
It's not bad background noise for when you can't actually listen to it.
Contact right, Vish.
I will also post a song that I think was not a terrible mix.
Yeah, it was a plane. I got a crit on
the Moffat, not Moffat, the Sumner gearing thing.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that.
I'm trying to deal with it, I just missed it. So if he torpedoes you in the ass, I can't really help.
And just to clean my ears, I will also put in I've seen footage because I like that song a lot.
Oh.
Is that correct for people that know?
Fucking gunners.
You know, honestly, Opti, you are not the last person I begged to be a Death Grips fan. But then again,
I just enjoy...
There are weirder people who I found out to be Death Grips fans.
You could
to be fair, I've been picking up on Death Grips around the same time. I've also been picking up on Kanye remixes of unreleased albums. So, like, this is around the same time I also picked up mashups of Mama's Boyfriend with...
oh, there's like 4 DDs here.
And technically this was Billy Joel, so... Yeah. Like, actually, that kind of makes sense now I think about it, because Billy Joel and... Mama's Boyfriend samples Billy Joel.
The enemy ship sank.
Okay, that's one.
So it's like a mashup of a sample.
Cleveland, go Burr.
And my guns are firing like 3 light years too high. Holy shit.
Against the coastal RC?
No, against these ships that are a kilometer away from me.
Damn it, it'd be nice if they stopped moving randomly.
Can't aim down.
Or if they stopped
I've been interested in some Death Grip songs for a while, but yeah, no, recently picking up a lot of these just because mashups. But yeah.
Oh, I just ate 2 completely useless torps. I didn't need to eat those.
You do well at
torps.
mashups.
They seem to be going out of the
I like mashups generally.
So...
I like the creativity in terms of how people actually, like, not all mashups are created equal, so how a person actually mixes them together is quite important to me.
For sure.
And whether they work together.
Cigar, for example, is fantastic.
Yeah.
I am confused. The damage reviewer says that these guys' turrets are destroyed and he's still shooting.
So this is Carpenter Brute mixed with Death Grips. And this is, of course, Tachyon. Because it's one of the most mash-upable Death Grip songs out there. But it changes the tempo, which I can think is quite nice.
I'm gonna eat more torps.
Okay, and I'm gonna try and get this coastal arty that you missed.
1.
And completely miss it.
I hit all of my rounds on it, but it didn't fucking kill it.
I'm just saying there's this one over here.
No, that one respawned.
Yeah, that's unsurprising.
Okay, this
Contact.
this is good.
Yeah, I like it.
Take him down.
It's definitely a different tempo, as you can probably tell.
I feel like I should hate this, but I don't.
I mean, it changes the way that Tachyon sounds, fundamentally. But I think that's it's definitely fresh.
I feel like you could replace the words with just notes, and it'd have the same effect.
Well, yeah. In this case, the vocals are basically just acting as, I guess it's like percussion, but it's vocalized, so it's like a note of its own. It's great. It's part of the melody, essentially.
I think that should be all.
Yeah, it's like what the word is. It does not matter at all.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, I rarely listen to what the lyrics mean in a song. My 2 goals with music are the melody line and the tempo. The beat, the cadence, those are always very important. Lyrics can be nice, but it's not my main drive.
Is there a PU? What the heck was shooting at that plane?
There's all the coastals on my side are gone.
There's one over here somewhere that's come back, and I'm having to deal with the destroyers again.
Yeah, I am too. I'm being
my door's still there.
By fucking Atlanta.
Apparently my door was open.
Oh, that's not helpful.
Fuck off.
Door sensor.
The enemy ship sank.
Right side, I will definitely have Colossus by the time this match is over.
Yay.
Probably have spaded Cleveland with the amount of people I've bullied with it. I'm on top of the team.
Yeah, Cleveland is.
I think you said pavement.
Crazy what happens when you use something with DPM instead of heavy cruisers.
Yeah. The heavy cruiser are there to bully the DPSers. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want a heavy cruiser if it can't either take a hit or punch through something it otherwise would struggle.
The thing is, this enemy team is not only not spawning capital ships, they're hardly spawning heavy cruisers.
They have an Arizona somewhere.
Lamau.
They have a...
And a
I don't even know if I've seen a Helena or a Cleveland or anything. It might just be like German lights.
I've killed in Atlanta. And
yeah, the Atlanta is the scariest thing they've had, and it's showed up a couple times, and he's annoying, but that's the best thing they have.
The biggest thing I've seen is a Pensacola.
The enemy ship sank.
Oh, well,
yeah, I mean, I've seen the old American heavy cruisers, but those things are terrible. They're like
for their BR, they're pretty good, but I mean, you also have Atlanta at the same BR, so.
I am very tempted at this point just to do a video, just recording, going over all of the massive errors in Naval at the moment, and just tell people to look it up whenever they start asking dumb questions in chat.
Yeah. You can make it like sort of those short little infomercial type things.
Make a whole naval guide to all the bugs and their workarounds.
You're gonna have to keep updating that.
Oh, no, I don't, because all you have to do is just go, and here's another one that they've added, because they haven't fixed any of them.
Oh no, there's only going to come some that will be fixed is the issue.
Another one.
They don't fix it for long enough, it becomes a feature.
Oh, well, I'm gonna
playlist of separate videos.
Yeah, if you did make individual videos and make it a playlist, that probably is better. That way it's modular.
You can just label them fixed or like whatever.
Yep.
Remove them from the playlist.
Yeah.
I would say remove and put a fixed title. That's the easiest way.
Yeah,
Great.
remove, put a fixed title, and just have a separate playlist of fixed things. So if they break it again, you can just move it back into the bug playlist.
Yep, I think that works. That would be an easy way to do it. It modularizes the issues, and yeah, that'd be easy.
Turn.
Every patch they put out something else that's new, and it breaks something else, just call it a feature.
Honestly,
so they can
work on that.
Yeah.
This is a good thing to consider.
I kind of already have the infrastructure for that in my channel, I guess, because I make a video for every bug I report.
Yeah.
But it's only the ones I report, so it's not everyone.
You have to amend some workarounds, but you could use the same reports.
I don't think we're gonna cap this point anytime soon because they keep spawning.
Yeah, and the coastals are respawning again.
I don't have the rate of fire to keep up with it, really.
I do, but
over there? It'd take me forever to get there, but
well,
you'll probably have it figured out by the time I get there.
I mean, I'm about to run out of crew, so...
We have a Colossus here, but... is it a friendly one? I should point out. Yeah, there's another torpedo coming my way.
Oh boy, more torpedoes.
My buddy's up in Vancouver, and he had Tomahawk Barbecue. Heard of it? Optical?
He just
massive steaks.
Yeah, Tomahawk Barbecue.
You literally...
I don't know about this one,
you
but
was there. Okay.
I'll toss it into the playlist. Heat. I don't know if you're gonna like this. I don't know if I'm gonna like this because I haven't heard it yet. But
Added something to keep
Yes, Griffith.
It's a mix of yeah. Death is online grips. What?
So true, Rumpy.
Yeah.
So true.
So true, oil field.
So true, oil field.
Yeah.
Bet you couldn't Kuwait for that one.
Yeah. No, it was, I wrote So True Oomphy on my phone in S2, and it fucking autocorrected to So True Oil Field.
That's where the name came from?
Yeah. I think that's Cuba right now. Yeah,
it is.
Vish just spawned into existence.
Yeah, Turtle's still So True Oomphy.
I thought Turtle changed for some reason.
No.
This is getting out of hand. No, there's two of them. I don't know. I've been alive on 9% crew for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just had like your corpse or something just pop into existence next to me. It was creepy.
I've detonated the front and rear ammo on this guy and he's still alive. Excuse me?
Yep.
Magically.
Well, this guy's crash diving. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish him off.
That's a fuck off on 90 roll rate. On a boat.
They have a battleship finally. What are you?
Where and what?
There's been an Arizona alive for a while, but I have no idea where it is.
I killed him ages ago. He's down there.
Vish, I'm gonna ram you shortly, just so you're aware.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. I'm like on one
I mean, I've been solo holding like with Cleveland, so...
I'm attempting to turn right, but...
I shut down a push of like 3 destroyers and 3 cruisers.
This is pretty good heat. I like this.
Da
Vinci. Can we like
Cleveland noises?
Try to kill these coastals while we're here?
No.
You are welcome to.
Where's the carrier in the meantime?
Yeah, this is pretty good.
I might
find that and deal with that.
While I'm alive.
You know who's really into these?
Sorry?
You know who's really into these?
Who?
Juicy.
Interesting.
Okay, all the coastals.
He's got good taste.
Yeah. Oh, that's in Atlanta. No, that's not in Atlanta. What the fuck is that? Dido.
I should send him the Carpenter Brute.
No, there's Atlanta. I'm not retarded.
Yes, you should.
Did you not respawn yet?
Can we get rid of this Atlanta? Hey.
Torpedo.
Carpenter Brute zone. There's actually multiple
Tachyon
mixed with Carpenter
Oh,
Brute.
staying alive on 8%, but if I lose 1%,
There's
I'm
a
done.
torpedo coming to you.
I'm alive. I don't know how. Okay, well, he hasn't managed to HE me yet. I'm reloading. Fuck, I didn't aim far enough forward.
Oh, threat bomb.
Okay, I don't understand this.
Oh, there we go, now
Cleveland
I'm
gives its aviation facilities collapsed even in battle, whereas Baltimore does not.
Oh, is that an Ecoma? That's an Ecoma.
Let's see if I can murder him before I
we could
sink.
report Cleveland's aviation facilities being collapsed. if we can find reference photos of them not being in that year of fit, that's basically what it is. If you can find evidence of Cleveland having a float plane in the year of fit that we have in game, then
it has and launched his float plane.
There really shouldn't be difficult.
And the crane is collapsed.
Strange.
Don't complain about the
plane with
crane
no
being
crane,
collapsed.
no plane. See, I'm not gonna complain because I actually have rear fireworks.
The question is, why is Baltimore's crane not collapsed?
I see. I mean, not sure about
actually,
that.
I guess. What would
I would definitely not recommend trying to report that because, I wouldn't recommend trying to report that because I feel like that's just going to lead them to nerf other ships.
Yeah, which I'd like to not have. It'd probably be exclusive to American though, because I don't think anyone else put the aviation on the rear other than like Tony.
Some of the
Tony isn't a Vantail, it's the rest of the ship.
Yeah, it's very intentional.
Yep. It's also, whatchamacallit.
The thing is, the facilities should only be not collapsed when it used, so I'm fine.
The Japanese battleships have because the Kongo's is midship-ish, but Nagato's is aft, and Yamato's is aft, and...
but Yamato also has a totally different system.
Yes, correct.
Also, I'm going to totally eat this torpedo, or I might just turn out of its way, I don't know.
I want to report it to get Baltimore's cranes collapsed, but I feel like...
They won't.
Yeah, I'm working with them raising Cleveland's cranes instead.
Okay.
What was that flight path of that missile?
It is just me versus this Icoma.
That was really weird.
I think that, ironically, Baltimore's front turrets have better rear fireworks now than the rear turret.
That is pretty funny.
Because of the aviation facilities.
Also, Gaijin seems to be completely ignorant of the fact that planes are expendable. Aviation facilities on back of an American cruiser are expendable. Okay, the Atlanta has decided it wants to shoot me now.
Who cares, or what?
Yeah, as in the event of enemy being behind you, shoot the plane off.
Yeah.
Oh, on that matter...
It should also be kept stowed until they're ready to be deployed.
Well, typically you would have one on the catapult, but...
More importantly, in a sense, is that Gaijin doesn't really consider the ability to fire through your planes to be... Just for reference, this is the thing that's actually a problem on Japanese ships. They will go, aviation facilities interfere with firing arcs. Yeah, like Kongo, for example, she has a 320-degree firing arc on turret number 4 in real life. And Mogami had 160 precise, so 320 on her turret number 4.
Atlanta.
Right? But those are currently not permitted to do so because they would interfere with firing arcs. The funny thing is that in real life, there is a recorded instance of a Japanese cruiser shooting her plane off.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's doctrine.
Yeah, they're less important than the ship.
Yeah. The same thing with the, quote-unquote, safety.
Essentially, we know for a fact that the Japanese didn't really adjust their firing arcs according to the plane being there or not, and if they deemed it necessary, they just shot through it.
Yeah, because it's detrimental to the survival of the ship to put a stupid plane over the survival of the ship.
If you want to bully in Arizona on your next spawn, there is one over here.
I believe it was a Mogami class, and they just shot through it, and it was just, like, the Mogami didn't give a shit, it just fired through its little plane, and I mean, like you say, it's doctrine. It just absolutely is. If you can gather the hard excerpt that the Americans say, please shoot you through your float plane if necessary, we can probably do that.
Where would you even find that?
Oh, damn it, that should be complimental.
Probably in some Exo's notes or some shit. I don't know.
Gunner's Mate or something, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know any documentation. I'm terrible at finding documentation.
Usually it's a matter of getting, like, so research online for documents existing online, you do via, you make a broad statement and then you narrow, essentially, and you sort of focus it in. So you look for an issue and you say, I'm looking for this problem. You Google that in, find something, look around in maybe forums or something, they'll talk about, if you see them mention a document, then you look for that document, see if it's online. If you don't see it's online, you look for people talking about it, see if there's any alternatives, etc. You sort of narrow your search that way. Or if you really need that document, then you find where it is sourced, if it is not online, or if you haven't yet to find it online, you try to find which institutions it belongs to, and you can see if you can find searching through them or something.
You mentioned finding a picture of Cleveland in 1942.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I'll have to check it after this.
That's the only picture NavSource has of Cleveland for 1942.
Love Measure 22.
Whoa!
Cleveland, it makes me think of the fucking Cleveland show. I'm sorry.
My name is Cleveland Brown. Yeah, I have a really shitty edit of a USS Cleveland with Cleveland's face on it.
Like,
I mean, I have an Azraelian user skin for Cleveland, but
we're free of the head.
Yeah, I would use that if it wasn't for the existence of Measure 22, and to be honest, I don't really like a lot of the Cleveland
I don't
ones.
like the waifu skins, to be honest. They tend to be a bit too in your face.
It's a lot very noisy. Yeah.
The nice ones are the ones that
noisy.
combine like a semi-realistic skin with just a few images.
Yeah, as opposed to just turning it into a...
It's like Japanese curry. The base has to taste good before you add the curry.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem I have with a lot of the Cleveland skins, is none of them really have a good base.
It's just...
Yeah.
It's not a
If one of
curry,
them
it's
used Measure
just...
22 base, that would be perfect.
It's just some
it has
brown
to taste
water
good before
shoved
you
on
add the
some...
spice. Yeah.
It's just some brown water shoved on some uncooked rice.
So I don't want to change off Measure 22 because it's the best.
Well, it's more like they add spice without flavor at that point. The problem, again,
they just
you shouldn't be using the spice to mask the flavor. It's supposed to enhance it.
They just hand you a plate with a bag of uncooked rice and a bottle of paprika. There you go. There's your curry.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I don't really like Measure 12 or 22. So
I like it. I like
the patterns more.
I like
what more?
I like what's called less is more type skins.
All the others with the patterns.
The
rectangles and all that stuff.
Like Akitsushima's
I think one is so clean.
Yeah, Akitsushima I think has a very clean one because it's not too much. It's got a few little features on it, like a false bow and a false stern wave, and it's got like a few patterns on it, but it's mostly just good old ship steel.
I'm quite fond.
Something about Oyo though. Somebody tried to
break the
skin she might have had.
I'm quite fond of the Western approaches.
Or the camouflage, rather.
I think the only paint that comes close to Measure 22 for me is... Oh fuck, I sank before I could shoot the HEVT. Hey, did my flow plane spot the carrier right when I died? Let's go! A flow plane.
So yeah, come on.
Do I even spawn
my missile got
against
just
Arizona,
a little slower.
or do I just wait for him to get bombed? Oh, the doe killed the F-82, okay. Let me kill the doe then.
What else can I throw in here?
Is there... Wait, there's a premium Dornier aircraft, at least one of. That sentence
yes,
is not in the correct order. Is it a GE premium?
Yes.
Did he trade with the doe?
So it's a Doge.
Hate you.
Doge.
It's only 9:30 and I'm doing this already.
Yikes.
You have an evil twin by any chance?
Why does my air search radar not work? So mad.
You know another song that really does mashups really well?
Iron Theme.
Juice by Lizzo. It's surprisingly universal.
That goes well.
It goes well with everything, honestly. It is a song that has a very universal beat and tune. And this is Bruno Mars mixed with it. You can also have it mixed with Tiesto. You can have it mixed with the Jets. You can have it mixed with everything, really anything.
Did the doe die? Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're
Dodo.
crazy.
Damn cow! Out! Gone! Jesus Christ! You alive?
You okay?
No.
No. You got dumbass A over here.
Arcade, I can see if he's still on a plane. Yeah, he is.
Sounds like any normal day at the beach.
Yeah,
What did I say, beach?
I don't like either of the songs to begin with. That they mix.
I get you. It's definitely
slightly better than either of them, but still blech.
I'm assuming you're shooting.
It's definitely very pop. Just to be clear, that's like for the record.
There's a car, so not
yeah, I don't know. I've never liked pop.
That's fair. I mean, it's definitely C major pachelbel type. If you want to talk about like a bass
can
that
you guys
came
tell me
from.
what the altitude does on that?
Do you know
I think part of
pachelbel? Whatchamacallit? What was it called? Pachelbel's.
It's the altitude on the dough.
Canon in D. There we go. Canon in D.
That's D minor, or D major. Sorry.
D major, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a D major bass, and it sounds very happy. That's basically the bass line of modern pop. It's pachelbel in D. That's what it is. Like,
And then you have
I'm not even
literal pieces of pop music which are literally just covers of Pachelbel's canon.
Yeah, but that's kind of the base sort of, if you like that song, or you have some, like, if you don't feel like you're sick of that song, then you will generally be okay with pop, right? Because it all kind of fits there. And this got a little bit, like, these are definitely a little bit different. Like, I don't think you could sample Pachelbel in this, but it's kind of in the same sort of genre, with pop in general.
So yeah,
is Pachelbel in D.
Very much don't like modern pop because it's far too manufactured.
There are some pretty innovative songs out there, but it's a case of you have to sift through it.
Yeah, you really have to find it.
Yeah.
It's part of it for me is when there are certain artists and certain styles of pop.
Oh, I'm gonna bring one that I think you guys wouldn't expect.
I don't know.
That's a Congo.
Yes.
Did you know that?
It feels kind of empty and soulless. I don't know how to describe it. It is a completely intangible quality that I cannot pin down.
I actually do like.
Well, but there are some things that are really manufactured music that do have it. I cannot pin it down.
That's the dude. What is the J6K?
I'm going to posit something to you guys, and that is that Slipknot is actually very poppy. Very poppy.
That's
yes, and here's why I'm going to bring this up. It works a lot. Like you'll notice the genealogy of it with when you mash it with other pop songs. For example,
I Survive.
Here's Spice Girls times Slipknot.
Hard Times is a great fucking song. You can do it with a lot of things.
So this is if you want to be able to love her, mix with
looking
sulfur.
a bit moist.
Yeah.
It's great.
Favorite mashup would be Baby I'm Yours and Hard Times. So it would be Baby I'm Hard.
So many points, I might as well spawn
Baby I'm Hard.
Fair enough.
Baby, yeah.
Kill the carrier, please.
Is that breakbot mixed in with?
Yeah, I was spawning Douglas to deal with the Notes 335.
But this could very well be a pop song if it didn't sound so gruff. You know what I mean?
I want a heavy cruiser to kill it.
He's at 54%
crew. Far away, inevitably.
Granted, the pop songs from the 90s, but still. Or actually, early 2000s. It's like taking the Spice Girls and making it grungy.
Spice.
I know I can switch back to AP.
So what you're saying
That's what I call a Spice Core. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Taking the Spice Girls and making it grungy. So just turning it into Spice.
Yeah.
Spice.
You're grinding it up.
Well, no, I meant as in, he who controls the Spice controls the universe. Spice.
I'm loving
it. Why is that a musical pun?
That's a Dune pun. Or just a joke.
Reference.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, we have a Congo now.
Bingo bongo.
But yeah, you can mash Slipknot with a lot of pop, and it doesn't really conflict. Like, this sounds like it could be a song.
Oh wait, that's
I don't know if
Shimakaze
it's
is a
charmed,
bongo.
but it's a song.
Yeah, C is a universal key.
Yeah, Kronstadt has very much dethroned me on this team.
Yeah, I was AFK for like the first 20 minutes. And then I was AFK again for like 10 minutes doing the dishes just now.
Yeah, light cruisers give you so much more points than heavy cruisers do.
You know how Blur's Song 2 is a parody of grunge from the 90s?
Isn't that literally Pachelbel's canon?
No, song 2 is...
canon, what?
Song 2 is, it's like... Here, this is just
I'm confused.
No, Blur is a band that made a song that's called Song 2, which is a parody of 90s grunge. And
Song
Rudy...
Yeah, that's literally what they called it.
And so somebody mashed up Song 2 with Smells Like Teen Spirit to make a parody of Song 2.
What the hell? My rudder got like jammed full left, so I almost did a 180 without realizing.
Still confused why there was a topic of Taco Bell lore.
What? No. Taco Bell is a classic composer.
Canon indeed.
I am getting flashbang.
Talking about Taco Bell this entire time. Oh my god.
Yes, I will play Canon indeed by Taco Bell.
And someone was talking about like Taco Bell canon, and I was like, what? Taco Bell lore?
Taco Bell canon.
I will play Canon indeed and the Taco Bell. And I'll get married in
Alright, I'm changing your name. There you go.
Changing to what? Taco Bell ND or?
Taco Bell lore enthusiast.
Where? Oh,
emphasis on this being Taco Bell ND.
God.
I mean, he was named whale enthusiast. His enthusiasm has changed subjects.
Yes.
Wait.
This song
So
sounds
Pete
very
Waterman
much...
is the one who says L pop music is Taco Bell. Okay, I'll believe that.
Well, it's basically just some form of a major key fun song.
Yep.
That's what it is.
You know who Pete Waterman is, right?
Actually sing from Flooding.
He's like the producer of pop music in Britain.
I would have capsized so hard if that was actually a thing in this game.
But this sounds like a Nirvana song, but it's actually a Nirvana times Blur song.
Blurst?
No, Blurst. No.
Blurst line.
Yeah. Mashups, by the way, are a very thin line between mashups and sound clowns, which are shitpost songs.
Sound clowns, dude. Sound clown just gives me PTSD.
No, actually, that's why I've heard
you know what they are, Rich, right?
Torture. Yeah, it just gives me cock and ball torture.
Sorry, I heard BTS and then cock and ball torture.
Free encyclopedia, wikipedia.org. Cock and ball torture, CBT, is sexual activity involving torture of male genitals. This may involve genital spanking.
The upload
I'm going
on
to...
SoundCloud, like it's called SoundCloud. I just remember the embed always being like, hey, what's SoundCloud? Yeah.
I'm gonna just post Fred Durst's thesis.
Hold on, I'm gonna...
So you got SoundCloud rappers, but
this is a mashup that is painfully close to a SoundCloud. Like that's what it is. It is a bona fide mashup, but it sounds like a shitpost.
So the reason Pete Waterman is in my head as a famous person I'm aware of is because he's a train nerd.
I thought it was a
trained nerd. What?
Yeah, classically.
He owns a bunch of steam trains.
Untrained nerd?
Like one British guy.
Yes, the one with the camera, right?
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Well, the one with the camera, wow, you don't say.
Yeah, he's an anorexic
one with the stupid 360 camera that, like, he always points at his face?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, the train guy.
Okay, that's a whole subgenre of geek in this country.
Train spotters? There's an entire movie made for them, isn't it? You guys have a movie made about train spotters, isn't there? I'm pretty sure.
Nothing to do with train
I was under the impression that was about heroin addicts.
The one guy.
Was it? I haven't seen Train Spotters. Why is it called Train Spotters about heroin?
I don't know why train spotting is called train spotting. All I know is it has Ewan McGregor looking like a total meth head in the toilet.
Amazing.
And then he went straight off of that onto episode 1 of Star Wars.
Perfect.
Oh.
This one does.
What is happening?
It's just a regular Tuesday.
Yep.
And then he went around the world in a fucking Tuesday.
The enemy ship sank.
And then he went around the world on a motorcycle.
Yes,
That was
BMW.
great.
He wanted the Honda, but no, they went for the fucking bloated ass BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those were great.
I'm begging you, please check VoIP chat. This video has lived rent-free in my school for almost 2 years.
Whoa,
no, almost 3.
Why is Mario in your
I just ate
over
it.
3 years.
Wait, the Arizona just killed something. What did the Arizona just kill?
This is free in my brain for over 3 years.
This song would be the gray area between a sound clown and a mashup.
Oh,
because I don't think Fred Durst is really related to Evangelion, but
what?
This is Fred Durst's thesis.
I have no idea who Fred Durst is.
Oh, it's on the bot. I thought you were talking about the fucking ball torture thing, and I was like, huh?
Was this about
What?
pocket Baltimore?
Yes.
What? About me? Huh?
Ball torture.
Who's a pocket
Talking
Baltimore?
about me?
Why do you respond to ball torture?
Apparently that's his name.
Your M said Baltimore.
Yeah, I said, what's a
Baltimore.
pocket Baltimore?
Fucking Baltimore torture.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
So much worse
I
because you
still
have to
can't
be in
tell what you said.
Baltimore
He's
for it.
saying pocket Baltimore?
I heard pocket Baltimore.
No, pocket Baltimore.
Oh my god.
Oh, Baltimore.
Oh.
Oh,
Hate
Baltimore.
Pocket Baltimore, CBT.
I need the hearing aid.
Man, fuck Baltimore.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Baltimore.
Fuck you, Baltimore. You're a big enough schmuck to buy a car, then you're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's cars.
Okay, sorry. It don't look back in anger is Taco Bell's canon.
Taco Bell cannon?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell cannon.
Yeah, the Manchester edition.
Get the fucking contrast screen to the face, please.
I feel like you could rename that to Diarrhea Dispenser and it would be still the same thing.
I want to throw in one of the best mashups in terms of the raw craftsmanship that I've seen in a while, but the name is a shitpost.
Also, I'm gonna need you to tell me when you get out of that game because I cannot get into a decent game.
We have 3,000 tickets left to kill.
This is called Levitating Albanian.
What?
Oh, I know exactly.
Eating Palpatine.
It's really well crafted. It is a shitpost. In fact, it's called Albanian Hypno Video, but it's actually a very well crafted mashup. It's actually really well made. But it's Dual Lipa mixed in
Albania
with.
exists.
It's You'll Buy Cheap Flights to Albania. The song.
Yeah, when this match is
Oh,
over,
fuck
Heath, you can have my
Serbia.
squad.
Big
Also known as-
Albania.
Also known as the song that pisses off Serbians.
Yes. It is.
Oh lord.
Like, the backdrop of this is actually Dua Lipa's song, but you wouldn't think it would be. It doesn't sound like it'd be, you know? It sounds like this is baked into the song.
Don't sound like it do, but it be.
Yes.
I want some. It's too late
It's
for
not like those, like, kind of lazy ones where they take
Never
turns on
played
which
for
side is being
Christmas.
mashed up either. Both of the songs are being played together seamlessly.
What time
It's
zone
very
are you
well
in?
made.
3 hours behind me, so 1:41 p.m.
Yes,
Wait
correct.
for a
On the
coffee
dot.
at 2 o'clock in the
Idiots.
afternoon.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's 1:41 in the afternoon for me. Yeah.
20 to 10 here.
That is how time zones work.
Yeah.
Red issue.
Pacific time.
Let's go.
West Coast, Best Coast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am presently in alpha time.
Destroy the target!
Alpha time?
Yeah, in the winter it's Zulu time.
Why not beta time?
Because that would be Central Europe, I think.
Omega time.
I don't know what time zone. Heck, we don't. Actually, thinking about it, we're
Omega
talking NATO
3s.
alphabet, not Greeks.
Omega 3.
I'm on Omega 3.
Well, yeah, there isn't anything on the west coast except fish anyway, is there?
Natural Splendor, whales, bears.
Well, I think you're gonna say natural splinters.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, you got all those redwoods up there, so what do you
Yeah.
expect?
Hey, wait, who renamed me?
We have really
did,
good,
like, 10
beautiful
minutes ago.
coastlines. Good lord. And also, like, fish might be a big part, but damn, that fish is good. It's worth the journey.
By the way, I will be in the Seattle area on the 3rd, officially.
Seattle.
My load picks up. My next load, I have to go down to Cascadia Lock, or whatever. Cascade Lock, down in Oregon on the 5th. So I'm sad about that.
Why did uTorrent just open randomly? Okay.
They know. I want to hang around Seattle for a minute, though. That'd be nice.
I'm confused about torrenting. So I always thought
When
it
are you
was
gonna
like
be around? I'll be
very
there
much
on
connected
Tuesday.
to pirating stuff, but it seems like a lot more innocent now that I've actually used it before.
I get there on I get there on Tuesday at like 1 p.m. local time. So if you're
fuck.
You know,
Dang.
the best part about there being an Arizona down here is he keeps missing.
Amazing.
And I know every time he missed, now he has to reload for a minute. He's shooting at a Balor instead of a broadside cruiser.
Zam.
That Gearing just deleted a Chapayev who decided he was going to go full broadside point blank.
BRB driving to the airport in the semi-truck to pick up fish.
Yeah.
Deliver him. Fucking meatloaf.
Back with a semi, that sounds like torture.
Don't give Vish deliverance.
Yeah.
I promise, it's not gonna be that.
Okay,
I don't play the banjo.
I'm gonna play another borderline shitpost song. Save a horse, ride Beyonce.
BRB.
So, the AA fire off of London when I'm zoomed out looks like a Sea Whiz.
Is that what I was seeing earlier?
Yeah, look at this guy. Oh, you can't see him, can you? Because you're on the other side of the map.
I saw what looked like a PGO2 shooting earlier.
Yeah. It just seems like the number of pom-poms and things just going off.
Do they just all overlap?
Locked in your country on copyright grounds. Are you serious? Okay, fine. This one is.
We love you too.
Amazing.
Just be fun, bro.
I don't think Arizona did like any of the damage to me.
I would say
this
the
one is
did.
oddly well made for basically just mashing two songs up together that already had a sample in one of them. So
well, this is the second heavy cruiser, or second cruiser I've seen in a row who's going to get torpedoed to death by this Gearing because he's a moron and pushing straight past him.
Is that my internet or his internet?
Who? What?
Lack of response concerns me. Oh, the bot's not playing.
Everybody's just gone.
What? It is.
Okay.
Okay, it's my internet then.
That was weird. Everybody stopped talking as soon as you said you had a problem.
I think Discord's just dying.
Yeah, so my in-game thing is
override
fine.
the region.
Discord's
hold
dying.
on.
Everyone seems fine to me.
Yeah,
I'm switched to Brazil.
We're not going.
Wasn't it fixed to India when we had this
No,
problem
the
last
region.
time?
Yeah, let's try that again.
If I have to fight a battleship with Cleveland, I just shoot HE and try to get the meme diving shots, right?
Or just
That
burn it to
seems to
death.
have fixed it, because no one's roboting anymore. Well, Mal.
Nice.
I can't hear anybody.
In India, #1 superpower.
I can hear you.
Everyone. No one's roboting anymore.
India superpower.
Unless one of you pings me because I can't hear anybody, I'm going to move us to US Central, I guess.
Need to take him in
India.
I don't know if you can hear us now, but this
I can hear you.
Yeah. Everyone is fine.
Are you still not hearing us?
I also pinged in the wrong stupid channel, but hey ho.
He lost.
What?
Sound like a little bit better.
Loss of heat.
Hold on. Let me just.
Hearing loss. Let's go.
Hearing loss?
Finish day.
Going 3M lawsuit now.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Kenobi.
We are running out of enemies.
Are they leaving? Oh, they are finally.
They are leaving. Like.
I wonder if Arizona's earned, like, well, he's killed some cruisers, so maybe he has earned enough spawn points for a respawn.
I'm gonna go kiss this cruiser. I don't know what it is. I think it's
You guys
Detroit.
have one more game after this, so I'll join you guys for that.
No, it's Detroit. He's just sailing straight at me. I'm just gonna like punch him in the face with my bow.
Among Us.
It's a nice playing
What?
Discord.
Among Us is optical's new flushed. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
That's me.
Flush is still here, but it's
Lady
like
doesn't have a flushed emoji. Also, damn, that Detroit died by Vish before I had the chance to even see
How
it.
are all these people dying from Arizona? My guy, I just literally don't get hit.
Floated straight at me, and I just hit him in the nose with like 2 salvos.
Well, let's see if I can replicate it with
Once a
this
minute,
guy.
it's dodge.
Nope. Okay. I just took out the entirety of everything between his second turret and his second funnel.
What am I? What's setting on fire? Oh, Detroit's back.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Detroit.
Actually, no, I won't. You'll get him because you'll have reloaded a third salvo before mine's actually available to go.
Yeah, shit.
Well, I'm just running secondaries on him at the moment.
The gearing's back, so you can hit the gearing.
Optical.
Duh.
At what point does Japan ships get good?
Battleships.
Battleships. Pretty much just Congo. The rest of the tree can.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, it's not like you can't do well with other brackets. Like, they have Yugana, they have Tako, they have Mogami, Mikuma, etc. Like, they have good ships. It's just that, like, overall,
no results screen.
If you want to optimize the tree, you basically just play top tier. Because you don't want to play for the Taka, you don't want to play Alba, you don't want to play any of the fucking light cruisers, God forbid.
Let's see, 200k and 4,000 research onto Colossus. Let's see what I get afterwards.
I just don't want to play the light cruiser that only gets HE.
45,000!
Yeah, I get you.
Nice.
Agony? Yeah. I don't know how SAP, but it's really shit SAP.
So it basically only has HE.
There we go.